All right, guys, it is picture book sharing time. I have some awesome picture books picked out by my girls that I'm going to share with you right now. Stick around. Welcome to the channel. My name is Morgan here at The Life of Tillmans. If this is your first time, welcome. I'm so happy to have you here in this space. I hope that while you're here, you find everything that you need, love, and enjoy right here on the channel. If you haven't done so already, go ahead, click that subscribe button and that notification bell so that you do not miss any of the videos uploaded on the channel. If you've been with me before, welcome back. I am excited to be a part of this collab that is hosted by my really good friend, Jennifer, over at Fam of Three. I will link her channel down below, but we are sharing picture books, fiction and nonfiction faves. When she reached out, I was like, yes, I will absolutely do this, because if you followed along with the channel at any point in time, you know that we are huge book readers. My girls stay with their noses in some form of a book, and we have tons. So I was happy to just kind of share some of our favorites. And I say our favorites, they're really the girls' favorites, and then I pulled a couple of my favorites as well. So I'm going to link the playlist down below with some awesome mamas who are sharing their favorite picture books, fiction and nonfiction. So once you're done over here, make sure that you click on that playlist so that you can get all the book recommendations, because we know we all love to spend our money on books. I'm there with you guys. Spend your money on books. It just makes the world a better place. So here's what I did. I let my older daughters, my oldest two, pick out the books that they love the most. And I really had a good idea as to what they would gravitate to, because like I said, they read all the time. But you know, those books that your children pick up and read over and over and over again, those are the favorites. Those are the ones that they truly love, that each time their face still lights up when they read that book, or they find out something new in that nonfiction book that they didn't recognize or see before. Just those stories that come to life when you're talking about fiction books and how their imagination just really starts to expand. That is what I love about reading. And growing up as a child, honestly, I did not read many books at all. I will be honest. If it was not typically required for something I was doing for school, I didn't read. I never just really picked up a book to read it, but I have since started doing that over the last 10 years or so, and really a lot because of my children. So I'm so thankful for them, and not just children's books, but books for this mom, books to enrich my soul as well. But we're talking about picture books today, so I'm going to keep it there. But they have just really helped me to find that love for random, what I call random reading, that I really did not have, which is strange because my mother read to us all the time, and she read books and still has a huge, amazing library in her home to this day. So anyway, that is the background behind that. But I love to see my girls just go to books, and it helps me with their learning when I know what they're interested in, and just really what sparks their attention. It makes our homeschool flow so much better. So once again, I am so grateful for Jennifer for coming up with this idea and inviting me to participate in this collaboration, because it really made me have to think, and it was hard. It was really hard for the girls themselves to go and pick out. I just had them pick 2, possibly 3 books. They were like, how can we do that? And I'm like, we have to keep it to a minimum. So they picked out 2 or 3 books, and I'm going to share those with you now. So for my baby girl, of course, she is 4 years old, but there are books that she just goes to. So the first one, she's into counting right now, and this is her fictional book, and it is 10 Little Ladybugs. We are all into counting, and she loves that the little ladybugs stick up off of the page, and she likes to stick her finger through here. So what's fun about this is she will read the number, and then I will read the rest of it, and then we'll go to the next page, and she always yells out the next number, 9, and then I'll read the bottom part and she will keep going. So it counts down from 10 all the way to 1, and it tells the story of the ladybugs and where they each go and what happens to them. And you think at the end, you're like, oh my gosh, this ladybug is like gonna blow away and die or something, but no, it's a really awesome read. Ladybug, the last ladybug, goes home to be with the rest of her ladybug friends. So this is a really awesome book. She loves looking at the pictures. We work on colors in this book and shapes and counting. So many different things in here. And this is a fave of hers. And honestly, sometimes I have to put it away so that she can go to something else. But it doesn't happen for long because she'll come back and ask me, Mama, where's my ladybug book? So then I'm like, let's go grab it. I'll usually put it up really high if I want her just to kind of ease into something else. Especially since we're doing a letter of the week curriculum right now. I want her to try to go towards books that kind of go with the letter that we're going to help reinforce the sounds and everything of that letter. But this is an absolute fave of hers. It never gets old. I've had this book since my oldest was maybe 4 months old. She's 10 now. It has withstood the test of time. The next one is a classic. Everybody knows about this book, but it is her absolute favorite. We read it every single day, guys. She loves this one more than she loves the Ladybug book. Chicka, Chicka, Boom, Boom. Yes, this book has been around forever, and I happened to find the board book extra large because we had like the smaller paper one, paperback book, but it didn't last. The pages started coming out of it, and I found this one at Costco. She loves this book, and she recognizes this, so she's reading along with me. The way we read it, which probably most people, I let her read the letters unless she knows some of the words, and she does know quite a bit of them because, like I said, we read it every single day, which is perfect because it still goes along with our letter of the week curriculum, alphabet, all of that. And she just loves it. So not a whole ton of pictures in it, but it's a book that she gravitates to. She loves looking at the trees and going through and picking out all of the letters, uppercase and lowercase, the colors. We work on colors in this book also. This page always gets her. She's like, Mom, I can do it. I can find every letter of the alphabet. And so she goes through and searches for every letter of the alphabet. It's just a really fun book. And because she loves it so much, I just go for it every day. I keep this book around. I say, let's read Chicka Chicka Boom Boom, and then I'll add on another book with it, a different book, maybe something that we haven't read before, some books that I've checked out from the library. But this is an absolute fave of hers. And I'm so glad that I was able to find it in such a sturdy board book because I can tell it's going to be one that we're going to hang on to forever. We've had this one now, I believe, for about a year. I believe I've had it for 1 year, and it just barely looks even worn. But like I said, we're in it every single day. So this will probably surprise you, but the next book that I'm about to show you is also from my 4-year-old. It is an absolute fave of hers, and she does scream her head off when she opens it up. She flips through all of the pictures, but she loves it. We've had this book since last year when we did our human body unit. This is a DK book, and it is a nonfiction book. Obviously, everything in here is factual information about the human body, but believe it or not, my 4-year-old loves this book. She goes through here, looks at all of the pictures. Of course, you know, we have to talk to her about what's going on and what it is, but for some reason, which I know why, my husband works with eyeballs. And every time she seems to open this book, she gravitates to the eyeball. Now, some of the pages of this book are starting to get pulled out because she's in it so much. I'm trying to see if I can find the eyeball in here. But every time she opens it up, and it's almost like she knows exactly where it is. I didn't think to tab it. Here it is. She opens up to this and she like screams, ah, an eye. So she's super funny with that. But this is another book that she She just loves it. If you look in here, I mean, the pictures are amazing. And I don't know, maybe this doesn't classify as a picture book, but for me it is. It has pictures in it and it has factual information. So I'm going to go with it's a picture book. But we love this book a ton. I am a big science person. If you followed along, I love science. Like anything science, give it to me. Human body, let me talk about organs and blood and all of that stuff. That's my area. So when she picks this up, it just sparks a whole new side of my heart in here. But this book is amazing. I like how it's written because the girls can read it and understand it. So it's not at such a high level, even though it is talking about the human body. It breaks it down to a level to where my older girls really can understand what's going on. And at times there may be a few areas where I need to further explain for them because they are 10 and 8. But that is one thing that I do love about this book, is that it really is geared toward children, which is awesome because it makes their learning just really come to life when they truly understand it. If they pick up a book and every time they pick it up, they have to grab a dictionary to be able to understand every third or fourth word, they're going to put that book down because it's hindering them really being able to understand. But we do want to grow our children's vocabulary, but we don't want the books to be such a high level that it turns them off to reading, not just that book, but tons of other books. So it's really kind of a slippery slope when you're trying to find books for your children to make sure that they are challenging. However, they're not so challenged that it turns them off, but then also that they're not so easy, such an easy read that they get bored with it, that they feel like there's nothing to hold their attention. This DK book is right at that middle ground, perfect for our 8 and 10-year-old, and our 4-year-old gets to flip through the pictures, and that 8 and 10-year-old get to explain to her what's going on with it. They get to learn. Mama gets to sit back and relax. This book is a win. All right. Next, I'm going to move on to my middle baby girl, Maggie. Now, she picked out her books. She's such a sweetheart. Her first book that she immediately went to was when I told her to get a fiction book was I Love You, Mommy and Daddy. It says special stories for sharing. Now, in all honesty, the part of this book that she really loves is the I Love You, Daddy, because all 3 of my girls are daddy's girls. And I love that. He's so amazing with them. But she loves this book because it reminds her of her dad so much. She gets to flip through here and read this book. She has sat down and they read it together when he's here. But it's a story of bears, and the first part of it, it's broken up into like 2 different stories, but the first part of it is where the bear is going through life and learning different things and wants to be able to do everything on their own. But then gets to the end, finds some struggles and says, Mom, I love you, in more than one way. And it's the same with the dad. Dad is teaching the bear some lessons in life. The bear doesn't want to listen because children grow and they want to do everything on their own. But in the end, this bear says, Dad, I love you. It is a very, very cute book. And it teaches a really good lesson to the girls about what we as parents are here for, how we're to lead and guide them through life. And yes, at some point they will fly high and they'll have to figure out things on their own. But our job as parents is to help protect them, to help lead them. The bear is learning how to fish and how to live and sleep and wear. It's just a really, really good book, and she loves it. She picks it up often. And I think it just reminds her of her dad because he travels so much. He's not here with us every single day, but she gets to read this book. And it just brings up good memories for her. So that is her fiction book. All right. Maggie's nonfiction book. I knew that she would go to this type of book because it's just a huge area of interest for her. And it has been for the past couple of years. She is just all into everything that has anything to do with solar system, space, planets, the sun, the moon, stars, all of that. That is her area. So Planetarium was her next book that she picked up. And it is a part of the Welcome to the Museum series. We have another book from them as well. I can't think of the name of it, but it's about all the plants and everything. So Planetarium was the book that she picked up. The pictures in this book are phenomenal. If you've never picked up one of these, they have some really awesome books. I mean, books. They do have some awesome books, but they have awesome pictures. It's really great to see the girls go to books that give them information that they're interested in a way that they can retain it. I will say the Welcome to the Planetarium, it's on a higher level, more of like a maybe a 5th, 6th, maybe 7th grade reading level. It does have some pretty big words, but what I do like is that down at the bottom here, it has the key plate and it will tell you the meaning of those. So it says Earth, the distance from the sun. It talks about that orbit period for Earth. It gives you information about that specific area to help kind of break it down. And so we will read through this book just randomly. We did a space unit study last school year, and we relied on this book heavily, along with some other books. We had tons and tons of books. I will link those videos down below where I show and share all of the books that we used for our space unit study. We had a ton, and believe it or not, we went through every single one of those books and enjoyed it. That was the best unit study I think that we had all of last school year. So she adores this book. It's one of her faves. So I will try to link all of these books down below for you guys in case you're interested in grabbing them. But she's my space girl. So she'll always go to a space book, always. And I love it. I love that. All right. My oldest daughter, she is getting into history and more into what I call feelings. She is looking at the world in a different way and just really taking it all in just in a different way. I can't even explain it. She's my oldest, so I've never experienced this before as children grow up. So for me, it's very enlightening. If you have older children, you may be like, been there, done that. But it's just really, it's really enlightening for me to see that from her. It brings a joy to me, and I'm watching her grow. But she's been into history. So one of her nonfiction book that she chose, believe it or not, was the Titanic, Lost and Found. And it's just a step into reader. This is step level 4, which is below her reading level. But the story, she loves this book. I need to find additional books about the Titanic because she's just so intrigued by what happened. And of course, it's not a happy story. It's not a happy ending. However, she's into history right now, history and government. She wants to know all of those things. So this book really sparked her interest. She's read it a couple of times. And like I said, I need to find some more books about the Titanic, but this one has been a fave of hers. She will read it. She will look at it, look at the pictures, and she just enjoys the book. And she talks about like what could have been done differently. We have some really good discussions just on this book alone, but tons of other books. So this was her first choice for a nonfiction book, which I thought was awesome. And then her choice for a fiction book was this one we just picked up this past fall. It's The Little Yellow Leaf. Very simple book. It has a few words per page. But I think more than the pictures in the book, it's the meaning and the message behind the book that she loved. So it's about one little leaf. It's fall season. We know leaves fall off the trees. And this one little leaf is hanging on and is afraid to just let go. Afraid to let go of this tree, being the last leaf, being by itself, never having done this before, and just won't do it. And he looks over and finds a red leaf on the other side of the tree who's also afraid to leave. Now, they didn't see each other until later in the book. But when he looks over and sees her, he's like, wow, you too? Like, I just can't do it. And she's like, me either. And they finally decide that they're going to let go of this tree together and take this huge big step together. I'll say hand in hand, but leaf and leaf. And she loves it. She loves this book and the message that it brings. She is all about supporting other people. and also receiving that support as well. And that's what this book is all about. It's all about finding that friendship and being supportive in that. And I believe that is why she chose this book. And it makes it a favorite of mine too, because the message behind it is amazing. And I believe that any time that we can pick up a book and take away something that touches our heart in it, that is an important book to keep on our shelves. So this was her choice for a fiction book. Okay, and of course, with all of that, I had to choose my 2 favorite books. This was hard. Hard. It was challenging. We have so many good books here, and I want even more. But I decided to pick up a couple of books that I felt like were my faves. So I'm going to share with you guys those 2. My first for a fiction book is How to Surprise Dad. I grabbed this book because every time I pick it up and read it, it reminds me of how excited my girls are when my husband comes home from being gone for work. They want to cook him his favorite meal and make his favorite dessert, greet him at the door, make signs for him, cards. His birthday comes around, Father's Day, all of those special occasions, they are all about making them special for him because they recognize the quality and the time that they get to spend with him, not so much the quantity. And so they are recognizing that when he is here, they have to make the absolute best of it. And that is what the 2 children in this book are doing, are trying to surprise their dad, make him feel super special, come up with all of these creative things that they can do for him to help make him feel special. And so every time I pick up this book, that's just what it reminds me of our family. So let me show you some pictures in here while I'm talking all about the book. But here, this is them. They made a cake and they're trying to surprise him on his birthday. And they did all this, and he's spending part of his time sleeping. I'm going the wrong direction in the book, but he's spending part of his time sleeping. And they do cards and they come up with all these different ideas, and they're going to do a party for him, and who do they invite and all of this stuff. So this is an awesome read. And then my last book, which was my choice, I'm putting it in the category of a picture book. It is a nonfiction book, but it is still a picture book. I love pop-up books. I just love pop-up books, guys. It literally just brings everything on that page to life when it just pops up out of the page, right? Hence a pop-up book. And I love science. So here is my absolute favorite picture book. It is called The Human Body. This book, I found it at Costco, and I probably screamed so loud when I saw it. But there's all of these flaps. So this is a lift the flap section. And then I'm going to be super careful with this because I don't want to rip it. But this here is to die for. I love it. I love it. And there are little things that you can slide. I can't do it this way, guys, but little things that you can slide to give you more information. I'm going to show you a couple of other pages. But this book is like the best thing ever. Look at this. The whole chest wall. And so here, this is what I mean when I say you can slide things. You can slide it up and down, and you can open up the flaps and get more information. But this book right here, it's amazing. And my 4-year-old comes to this book too. She picks it up, but I try to keep it from her because if you open up pop-up books too far, then it can rip. And I don't want it to rip. So I do monitor when the girls are looking in this book, but they do love it. But this is my absolute favorite book. I could look at it over and over and over and read it over and over and over. And some amazing information in here. They did a really, really good job of this book. So that is my list of fiction and nonfiction picture books. And I say my list, it is our list here at the Life of Tillmans, because I allowed the girls to pick their books that they love. So I hope that you guys enjoyed this. I will do my best to link every single video, or not video, every single book down below. But I also have videos that have the links for some of these books because I've shown them before. And I will link that down below as well for you guys to peruse through. Don't forget to check out the playlist. Thank you so much again, Jennifer, for putting this wonderful collaboration together, and go and check out the other ladies and all of their amazing picture books for you guys. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel, click that notification bell, and I will see you guys right back here at the Life of Tillmans for another video next time. Bye guys.